Well, hello. How are you doing today?
Hello there. How are you?
I'm doing well. Trish, it is so great to have you here at Vesey Lane Goods. And I'm excited, as I know others are, to hear you give your presentation this evening. Your work is beautiful, and I wanted you to just start by sharing a little bit about yourself with our viewers, and also a little bit about your work, Lena.
Okay, I got you. Well, my name is Trish. Officially, my name is Patricia Howell, but that's just too formal. Mostly everybody knows me by Trish. And I am a visual artist that dibble and dabble in acrylics, oils, watercolors, anything that's new, I'm going to try it. So, lately, this is the last portrait I've done that is completed. This is Lena Horn, and I call her Miss Lena Horn.
Yes.
It's a little bit of my backstory from Lena is because of Sanford and Son. I can't lie. Fred loved Lena besides
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Yes.
This was the second one I always heard about. And I was too young to actually really know who she was by that time. And then when I saw her on the show, I was like, wow, she's beautiful. So it took me a little bit back. And then after that, it was Cinderella with Brandy and Whitney Houston.
Yes. I
And Miss
remember.
Lena Horne played the godmother.
Yes, she
So
did.
after that, I was in love with her. And since then, I've been looking up her old movies and catching up and Stormy Weather and her songs. And she has a extensive collection. So I did her. And I actually did her with multimedia, which is also something I'm getting into more. It's acrylic, it's oils, and it's a little bit of ink involved.
Okay.
I had fun with this. It's a smaller version, and I actually just freestyle sketching it first. And then I slowly went back and filled in all the colors, and here we go. So I'm glad it looks like her because this was just strictly off the brain. Usually I do gritting or something like that, but this one came out pretty good.
And I love the vibrant colors that you use in your work. And so, can you share with us what are some of your influences and inspiration behind your use of color in your work?
Yes, it comes from cartoons. I was that kid that loved Looney Tunes and Mickey Mouse, and the colors was vibrant. I did have one that wasn't so vibrant, but was awesome, which is Bob Ross, another childhood character, which wasn't even a character. You would think he was a cartoon the way I would run home and want to sit in front of the TV and watch Bob Ross.
Yes.
But he was definitely an influence, using technique and brush strokes and just being really fast with it. And that combined with the Looney Tunes and the Mickey Mouse and all the other cartoons I love to this day. I just like the colorful palette. It makes you happy. And those cartoons always make me happy.
Yes, and I can see joy in how you present your work. When I look at Lena, I actually see joy in the way that you present her. So when other people view your work, do they tell you the same? What are some of the perspectives that they share with you when they see your work? And does it always align with what your intentions are when you create your art?
Well, I would say this. I will start with a color palette. I don't know if I think of their background or where they're from or what I feel like their colors should match, but I do come up with a palette that matches
Yes.
what I feel like they should be.
What they should be.
And then after that, I go from just trying to not be influenced by other things, but I am. It does happen. From listening to certain music,
Yes.
happy, sad, energetic, that influences me as well. This was pretty much a going back into time thing. So I wanted to give her flowers. And flowers kind of remind me of roses and
Yes.
all the greens and the oranges. So I kind of went with that color palette. Yeah.
That is wonderful. And so would you say in general that you are inspired by women? I know that you have different subject matters that you approach through your artwork. But I asked you that question because also the beautiful painting that's behind you, that's above you, is your work. And can you talk to us a little bit about this particular painting of Dorothy Dandridge?
Dorothy Dandridge, oh my goodness. Can I tell you, I wanted to do her justice.
Yes, I think that you did. It's gorgeous.
I have not seen a lot of paintings of Dorothy Dandridge, so that made me think like maybe I should do one and try to make it the best one I could. When I think of her, I think of the blues, I think of the music, so I came up with a lot of blues. And
yes.
I got the red lipstick because she was red hot and beautiful, so we had to bring that too. And then, of course, the movie she was in, Carmen, she had the red rose in her hair. So I kind of just made her lips kind of protrude with that extra red. Yeah. So this mood was definitely blues mood. Learning about her background really interested me. It was like great and sad at the same time. And when I painted this, I was painting Marilyn Monroe. And it was the same type of tragedy. Like they didn't live long enough to enjoy what they needed to do and enjoy doing. So I kind of got her blue, and listening to her songs, I guess I can get the intense like calmness of it all. Just hoping that she's okay, you know.
Absolutely. Now, both of these women, both Dorothy Dandridge and Lena Horne, were from the same time period. Do you find that that there's certain time periods that just capture your imagination when you're creating?
Yes. When it comes to the women, I really like to do black women, especially old Hollywood, because they struggled a lot becoming an actor or actress. And these days we just take it for granted, even though we still don't get equal pay as much. But these women had to struggle way through civil rights movements, their skin color being black or white or in between, the roles that they played. So I feel like these women deserve to be shown a lot more and recognized, because many people don't know them. They get lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
What role does research then play in your work? Like, would you say that it's a little bit of research and intuitive, a more intuitive, creative process, or would you say that it's more intuitive and less research?
Well, I feel like it's intuitive. It's almost ingrained from my family, either mentioning them or watching the movies with them. So it's kind of ingrained. I didn't pay attention to them back then, probably in my 20s, and I didn't pay, like, okay, they're actresses. But once I started history and started to go to college, which opened up my mind so much more. It's not for everybody, but for me, I took it for art classes, and I took a lot of art history and realizing that African American art is not really a mainstream as much as everybody's art. Like, we are a little bit of a section that comes this big.
Yes.
So I wanted to show like people that was very important back in the day, and the women that were just so gorgeous that should have had the equal opportunities but didn't.
Absolutely. And again, even with the piece that you created and painted of Dorothy Dandridge, the vibrant colors and how they all come together is just striking. And so I just wanted to add that because I know that we're in Women's History Month, and so one of the things that I love about your work is that it, to me, when I see your paintings that you do of women, I see, again, as I shared earlier, I see joy, but I also see it from the lens of celebration. It's a celebration of who they were in their lives. And as you shared, you know, it kind of encapsulates them in our minds so that we don't forget them.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
Now, your third piece is also about a woman, and I'm going to let you tell us about her and what inspired you to paint her.
This is my baby. I have a lot of portraits that I do. This is a semi self-portrait, but it's really based on Japanese culture and
Mm-hmm.
Africans and Japanese culture.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, when you talk about is it researched, intuitive, those ladies are more intuitive. I knew about that. It's kind of deep rooted. This one was completely new and inspirational.
Yes.
I started looking up history, as art history does, and you see some people back in the day that were actually like African descent that
Mm-hmm.
were in China, and then I was like, where else have we been?
Mm-hmm.
So I looked around, and I feel like we've been around all of the world back
Mm-hmm.
in the day, and then finally landed upon Japan, and found out about the Black Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
That was really shocking that we did actually have one Black Samurai, the one and only. His name was Yosuku, but maybe Yeski in Japanese. I don't know. We're gonna probably butcher the name, but I imagined the African women being the strong people of Japan, and I got her in her kimono
Mm-hmm.
and her hair in a bun like a Japanese tradition, and then I have her face in an African mask. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of completes her look.
Mm-hmm.
And then around we have the rising sun, which is also very controversial in Japan, but instead of having it traditional, I kind of gave it a rainbow. So instead of being a symbol, it's more of a happy single, like all the colors I like to do. I like to pick happy colors.
Yes, absolutely. There's a vibrancy to your work. And so, can you share with us how did you get to this point in your career as an artist? And when was the first time that you remember considering yourself an artist and actually calling yourself an artist?
I would say it took after me going to college.
Mm-hmm.
Still after learning, I was still scared to call myself an artist. I feel like I was in my zone as soon as I started selling to people.
Mm-hmm.
That was very hard to do. I'm modest. Sometimes you want to keep everything to yourself too because you're like, it's so good. It's a part of me.
Yes.
But then when you get people to say, I want you to do this for me.
Yes.
It kind of like humbles you to have your artwork in their house that they're looking at every single day. So that's one. So I didn't care about prices. And then once you get to a certain point, everybody wants something.
Yes.
And you got to keep up with the paintings and all that. So I started off right when I was at Sinai Grace as an x-ray tech, actually.
Okay.
People will see me and they're like, I want you to do this. I want you to do that. And then they say, go back to school. I did. And then after that, I ran into the Detroit Fine Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
And it was over.
Yes.
Getting in front of all of those people, showing your art is like, you're important. They're paying attention to you.
That's right.
And then to sell it, and then of course Henry Harper to say sold.
That's right.
Ding ding ding.
Ding ding.
I
Yes.
couldn't imagine my art being sold. So that feeling I always wanted to get over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Just people happy to see it and then want to buy it. So that encouraged me to be like, I'm an artist now. I sell artwork.
That's
So
right.
now I'm an artist.
That's right. And so I know that, our journeys are often not simply for, us, but they can often inspire others who are coming behind us. And so as a artist who's now established and you've done many different artist talks and you've sold your work to many different buyers, what are some ways that you now use your time to encourage those who are coming behind you? Do you see yourself as an artist mentor?
I do. I really do. Anybody that wants to ask me a question, I will answer it. There is no secrets between art. Art has already been done over and over again. And to help somebody with another technique does not mean that they're going to be taking your technique and running with it. And so what if they do? They just learned a new experience from you. And you should take that and learn from others as well. So I love teaching kids. Kids are the main ones. Usually if my cousins are around or neighbors or even coming out to the park when I paint, they ask questions. I give them crayons and papers and I tell them little assignments to do. And that keeps them happy because in this world that we have right now, there's a lot of things that'll make you sad. So
Yes. Yeah.
I love to give people things as well. If they really like it, I give it to them. And then people that don't paint no more, I always say, just try it. Just go back to it. Don't put no pressure on it. I bet you're going to feel better.
Absolutely.
So I'm all about more of the therapy than actually getting you there to the artist status. But if that happens, good for you too. But yeah, art is just a good way of letting loose.
Absolutely. And would you say that if there was one word that you could use to describe what art means to you, whether it's an emotion or a thought, what word comes to mind?
First thing that came to my mind, which is funny, which is chill.
Chill.
I guess that's my chill time.
Mm-hmm.
During school, if I'm out of school, whatever I do with art, it's chill.
It's chill.
Yeah.
And it brings calm to you. And so would you say that that's what helps keep you motivated, even when, because I think, and you can tell me if you agree, as artists, we have our highs and we have our lows just like anyone else.
Yes.
So would you say that that is what keeps you motivated even when you sometimes have your lows, is that that art brings calm to you?
Oh yeah. Yes. Most of the time when I have the time to do it is usually when I'm stressed or I'm thinking of a problem to fix. I usually will go to this because it completely blanks out my mind and I'm totally focused on what I'm doing instead of the anxiety of tomorrow or the next day or what I have to do next month. Everything kind of disappears right when I'm doing it. So for me, I feel like the chill part is because, distractions are a lot. And this completely makes them all go away. Until I start back doing my regular routine.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like, I'm back.
I'm back.
And then I come here and then I'm like, answers no phone. People don't reach me. I am doing this, okay?
I hear you.
This is first, and then everything else is second.
I hear you. Yeah. So if there is anything that you could share, any closing thoughts with listeners about just your journey, or even maybe an encouraging word for someone who is just starting out and they're trying to work their way up, what would you say?
Listen to yourself. Even when people say it's not good, you're not going to get there. You're not going to make enough money. You're going to hear so many things to tell you that, no matter if it's art, singing, any type of career that you want, the more people you tell, the more you're going to hear the negativity. And that is just going to be your motivation to keep going. Just keep going. After you do it and you look back, you're going to be surprised at how much you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And I know that's going to encourage someone who's watching this today. And so I say thank you. Thank you not only for sharing your perspective and your practice with us, but I also say thank you for being a part of the Ashe Unity, Peace, and Power exhibit.
It is a beautiful show. Thank you very much, Robin.
You're welcome. You are so welcome.
I'm so grateful for you, and this is amazing. So come on through.
Yes.
It's going to be here for the next couple of months.
That's right. That's right. And you take care and you have a wonderful day.